What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, hummingbird? Let's get into this Love After Lockup review, season 4, episode 2. Episode 3, I'm going to do it right after this. PO problems. Indy and Harry, already, they got my nerves shot. My nerves are so worked up over these two people. So, Indy and Harry, they're on the way home from the halfway house. As they're going home, Harry's talking about in his confessional, he's talking about how his family was never there to support him. It was only Indy that was holding him down, so on and so forth. So he asks Indy, I think he asked or she volunteered the information somehow or another. They talk about what the sister or what his family has cooked for him. Whatever it is that they cook for him, he don't want it. So he says, I don't like that. I want something else. He says all he wanted was a chicken sandwich and some french fries or something. So this woman, Indy, grown woman, mother of one, is driving around in the middle of the night in the rain to get this jailbird some fast food. Your daughter is at home in a stranger's house, and you're driving around in the middle of the night looking for a burger joint for this fool. That's exactly what she did. So the family's waiting and waiting and waiting for them to come home because they haven't seen their brother in, I don't know, he's been locked up 5 years or something. So they're waiting and waiting and waiting, right? So instead of getting the food and eating it on the way home, they actually stop somewhere and eat, wasting more time. So then after that, he has the audacity to say that he wanted to get some fast food for his homeboys in the halfway house. So Indy puts on her Uber Eats hat and she's driving around looking for a fast. I don't know if they went to the same one that they came from or if they went to another one. I don't know. But she's actually okay with this idea. So they go back to the fast food joint, get some fast food for his homeboys in the halfway house. And so she Uber Eats it to the halfway house. Girl, you're wasting your time, your energy, and your gas for a whole bunch of people that you don't know when you need to be back at Lydia's house to check on your kid. And you're doing that for this convict? Girl, please. So the sister calls, I guess after, the Uber Eats the food to the halfway house. The sister's calling and they're like, where the hell are y'all? What's going on? We've been waiting. Indy has the audacity to say, oh, we had to go pick up some food for his homeboys in the halfway house. They get to the house. They are lucky that the sister did not lock them doors on it. Because if it was me, those doors would have been locked. We all would have been in bed, sleeping, snoring. There's no way in hell I would be up waiting and waiting and waiting for two idiots to come back home. There's no way in hell. I would have locked them doors, gone into my bed, under the covers, put my head on that pillow, and gone to sleep. Night, night. See you tomorrow. So they get to the house. The sister's pissed. Harry and his sister, they start arguing, cussing each other out. The sister had every right to be upset because this is some foolishness. The sister had every right to be upset. So the sister's, yelling at her brother. Harry's yelling at his sister. And Indy's like in the middle. She's caught in the middle of all this. And she's like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but this is not how me and my siblings act with each other. I'm not used to all this craziness. So Harry, not Lydia the sister, not Indy the girlfriend, but Harry the convict, says, I'm not staying here tonight. So where are you going? You have no car. You have no money. You have no job. You have no house. So where are you going? He says, I'm not staying here tonight. Indy, I guess, trying to prove that she's one of those, ride or die kind of chicks. She picks up her daughter. She wakes her daughter up. It's like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. She wakes her daughter up from a deep sleep to put her kid in the car and go look for a hotel for this fool because he's got too much pride and too much anger to work it out with his sister and just stay where he's supposed to be because he's paroled at his sister's house. So they find a hotel. The next time we see these idiots, it's the next morning. Obviously, they talk about how, they did what it did the night before. They had to go do it in the bathroom because they didn't want to wake up the little girl. And I'm pretty sure it was a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am kind of thing. But Lydia's going to say that it was a 10 out of 10 when he asks her, well, how was it? She says a 10 out of 10. Girl, the lies you tell. That lasted about 15, 20 seconds and he went right to bed. Stop it. So She says, "Oh, it's a 10 out of 10." And then he says, "That's it? That's all?" In the middle of all this craziness, Sister Lydia calls her brother and says, "Your PO just called me looking for you. You need to call your PO because you didn't check in." So he calls his PO. The PO's pissed. "You're supposed to check in. I already told you the next business day after your release, you're supposed to call me." "Oh, sir, I'm sorry. I forgot. Da, 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 da. I forgot." Big and bad Harry, who didn't want to sleep at his sister's house, he's long gone. Now it's all, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I forgot to check in. Da, da, da." So the PO tells him, "Well, we need to keep a real close eye on you. So, you didn't call me, you didn't check in, we're going to have to put an ankle monitor on you because we need to know exactly where you're at. And every single night, you need to be back at your sister's house where you're paroled at. And we need to make sure that you're not with that little prison pen pal girl that you met when you were locked up." So this is on speakerphone, and Indy hears this. And Indy, in her confessional, talks about how she doesn't want to be referred to as a pen pal. But that's what you were. Now you're a taxi driver. So he's upset that he has to get an ankle monitor. To me, I think he acts upset. I don't think he really cares one way or the other. So he's all upset because he has to get an ankle monitor. And Indy tells him, "Oh, I can't believe your PO called me a pen pal. And I'm your girlfriend. We've been together for a year." And Harry was like, "Well, you were a pen pal. I mean, if the PO says you're a pen pal, then you're a pen pal." So I don't know what Indy was expecting out of this. Indy is a very weak-minded woman. And it's very hard for me to watch weak-minded women, but that's exactly what she is. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through this season of Love After Lockup, because who the hell cares what the PO referred to you as or what the PO called you? Who the hell cares? Who cares? Anyways, so he's gonna have to get ankle monitored, and he's gonna be paroled at his sister's house. This boy's on probation for 15 years. He's gonna be on probation. I don't think he's gonna make it. So I get the feeling that because the way he was talking to Indy when she was getting all, butt hurt about being called a pen pal, and the way he was talking to her, like the attitude in his voice after this woman has been holding you down, probably giving you money, driving you around everywhere in the middle of the night when you're released. He was like, "If my PO says you're a pen pal, then you're a pen pal." The way he was talking to her, there's no way. There's no way anyone should put up with that much attitude for someone who just got released from prison and has absolutely nothing to offer to anyone. And by the way, Coco, her daughter, calls him daddy. Moving on to Taylor and Chance. So Chance is about to be released, and it's very short notice. I mean, they didn't even have time for the camera crew to show up. So she's trying to hurry up. Taylor's trying to hurry up, get ready to go pick him up. There's not much to say about Taylor and Chance. She went to the prison. It was raining, and she waited. I don't know. It was a long time because no one's ever released exactly on time. I don't know why the partners who are living on the outside, the girlfriends and boyfriends, get so upset when they have to wait an hour or 2 hours for the person to be released. No one's going to be released on time, so just relax. So she goes to the place waiting for him to come out. And after a very long wait, he's finally released. I think it was like I don't know, maybe an hour wait. He's finally released. He's been in there for 8 years. He was in there for bank robbery. He's a lifelong criminal because he said that he started really young, committing crimes, doing whatever, getting on drugs, and he lived a life of crime because of his drug addiction. So he comes out, they hug, whatever. He gets in the car. She starts the car doesn't start. So they have to get someone to come and jump the battery. The battery gets jumped, the car is running, they're on their way to wherever they're going, and he actually has a tattoo of her. So he showed the tattoo of her, and it was like a very generic, one-dimensional face of, to me, it could have been any female. It didn't really like capture any of Taylor's characteristics, but whatever. So yeah, good luck with that, Taylor. Moving on to Rick and Radine. Rick is 49, Radine is 29. So he's in the lingerie shop looking for stuff for Radine because he thinks that Radine's about to be released. Why you would go to a lingerie shop just to get some basic underwear, bras, and stuff, I don't know. But he's at a lingerie shop with his roommate, Ramona. So we find out that Ramona is his roommate, but there's nothing going on between them. Rick says that he feels like Ramona has a crush on him, but he has no attraction or feelings whatsoever for Ramona. Ramona tells us that she thinks Radine is trashy and she doesn't know what it's going to be like living with another female. So they're in there shopping, whatever. The total comes out to $793. And she needs these clothes because she's going to be released to a halfway house. And so she needs the basics. Like I said, why are you in a lingerie shop spending almost $800 for some damn underwear? Because he said out of all the things that he's going to buy for her, most of it is going to be just your basic everyday stuff. And he might get one, sexy little outfit. 790. Why didn't you just go to Walmart or Target and just buy a whole bunch of Hanes or whatever type of stuff and just call it a day and spend about maybe $40 at the most? Decision making skills for these people is out the window. So he goes to visit Radine's dad. Radine's dad is an amputee, and he lives there. He lives, with his wife, which is Radine's stepmom. So the father tells Ray that Radine has an addiction problem. So when she comes out, she's gonna have to deal with her addiction issues. And Rick is like, you know what? I got it. I'm also a recovering addict, so I know what it's like. I'll be there for her. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, none of that stuff. So she's coming to a clean house. The father was like, well, she told me she's coming to my house. And it's better for her to come to my house. So I can keep a real close eye on her, because the last time that she was released from prison, she got right back on drugs. And next thing you know, she's back in prison. So she told me she's coming to my house. And so Rick is like hella confused, because he was like, on the prison paperwork, it said that she was going to be paroled to my address. So I don't know what's going on there. But the father tells him that if my daughter goes to live with you, her sobriety is in your hands. And if she slips up, I'm going to come looking for you. So Rick has a huge responsibility in making sure that Radine stays clean. And I don't know how he's going to do that, because we all know how things go when these people are released from prison. So it's the day that she is supposed to be released from prison. So he thinks that she's coming home, but then Radine calls him and says that she won't be coming out because of COVID or whatever. I don't know. So she's not coming out on the day that they thought she was coming out. She's going to have to be in there a little bit longer. Rick gets so upset that he shuts down his interview with the producers, gets on his bike, and he's out of there because he's just so frustrated. That's Rick and Radine. Kayla and Martell. So this is the day of the release. Kayla goes to meet Martell. She was wearing her freakum white dress, high heels, no underwear. And she gets to the facility. She's waiting for him. Like I said, I don't know why she thought that he was just going to come right out on time. She ends up waiting for him for 2 hours in high heels, super duper short freakum dress, and no underwear. Finally, he comes out, and he was in there for 13 whole years, y'all. 13 years straight. He comes out, and they do, the whatever, hugging, kissing, whatever. And in his confessional, he tells us that he started selling drugs at the age of 12. And he tells us that he came from a wealthy family. I need to know more about that. So they have 11 hours before he has to check into the halfway house. They go to a hotel, and, they do what they do. They kick the camera crew out, and, they take care of business. In her confessional, Kayla tells us that Martell had made her promise when he went in that she wasn't going to be with anyone until he got out. Well, come to find out, Kayla has been with someone. She says it's been about 1 year and 8 months since she's been intimate with a man. And I'm not sure if Martell knows this or not, because when she talked about him knowing, I couldn't quite understand what she said. So I don't know if Martell knows that she was with another person or he doesn't know. I have no idea. But when they were in the hotel after the crew left, their mics were still on. So you could hear Martell saying to her, "Oh, you're so sexy. Has anybody ever told you that?" And she said, "Yeah, you." And then he says, "Nobody else?" So already, that jealousy streak has come alive. So I don't know. If he doesn't know, let's pray for Kayla when he does find out, because he will find out. And if he does know, then, thank God. But I don't know if he knows that she was with another man while he was locked up. And he's putting these restrictions on her. Like, how can you be controlled by someone that you're not married to? Number one, how can you be controlled by someone that's locked up in prison? I don't understand that, especially for 13 years. How does that happen? So she put her whole life on hold for 13 years, waiting for him to come out. But it might be worth it. And she tells us that as soon as he comes out, she wants to get married right away. She's already picked out her $30,000, $40,000 engagement ring. She's already picked it out because we know he can afford that. And she says that she's ready to get pregnant too. She says she's ovulating. They're not going to use protection because she knows every single thing he did every single day that he was locked up. So she feels completely 100% safe to have unprotected sex with this man on his first day out. You don't know what's been going on behind those prison walls. You don't know if he's been with other prisoners. You don't know if other women have been visiting him. You don't know what's been going on. You don't know if he's been getting it on with the guards, the prison guards. There may be female prison guards or male prison guards that he was hooking up with. You don't know a damn thing, but you're going to let this man shoot up the club after 13 years of y'all being apart. The decision-making skills for these people, unbelievable. Moving on, Tiffany and Kevin. So we see Kevin, he's out having drinks with his two buddies, and he's talking about, Tiffany being released and she's going to be coming home soon. So of course, his friends are grilling him about Tiffany. How do you know she's sincere? So on and so forth. How do you know she's not going to be in trouble when she comes out? All that jazz. So while he's up there talking to his two friends, his crazy ex-girlfriend Kayla shows up, and he's like so shocked and like, how does she know where I'm at? But then he tells us that he posted on social media exactly where he was at. And you know that Kayla's gonna. You see, Kevin, he's an F boy. He's like the definition of an F boy, complete definition of an F boy. First of all, he thinks a lot of himself. He thinks he's God's gift to the earth. That's number one. Number two, he does this push and pull thing with Kayla, and it's absolutely disgusting. Number one, Kayla's a grown woman. She should know better. That this guy's just toying with her. He's just using her for her body. That's it. He doesn't love her. He doesn't care for her. He could care less if she dropped dead. He wouldn't care. He's just using her for her body. But still, she goes back to him time and time and time again. And he knows that this woman, Kayla, his crazy ex-girlfriend, is like really into him, in love with him, whatever. But he plays with her emotions to get what he wants out of it. Then when he's done with her, he throws her out. So you're doing this purposely to another human being. Yes, she should know better because she's grown. She should know better. And stop letting him use her and not answer his phones and not follow him around the city and not do these, pop-ups on him and not sleep in his bed. Of course, she knows that she shouldn't do that, but she's got feelings. So at least with her, I can say, her feelings are taking over her senses because she feels so strongly for this guy for some reason. And we all been there before where your feelings are so strong for someone, you may not make the right decisions. But he has no feelings for her. If you want to use somebody, use your hand. Use, a woman of the night. You don't have to use the woman that cares so much for you. That's just disgusting and disrespectful. And it makes you, the president of all F-boys, Kevin. So she shows up. They get to arguing. He acts like he doesn't understand why she's the way she is. She tells him, I love you, but you always lie to me. Just tell me the truth if you're seeing someone else. He refuses to tell her the truth because he still wants to use her. It's just sad that he is like, it's just sad to see someone take advantage of somebody else when they're so emotionally fragile. Now, I'm not saying that Kayla is right for what she's doing, and I'm not trying to say that, she's really all that sympathetic, but like I said before, her feelings are taking over her mind. He doesn't have feelings taking over his mind. And if you have a need that needs to be satisfied, well, don't go to the woman that you're emotionally abusing. Go to a stranger. Go to a woman of the night, like I said before. Just don't do this to someone that is hurting, and she's hurting for you. It's just really disgusting. So he's on his way to pick up Tiffany, and Something makes him call the prison to find out exactly what time she's going to be released. The prison tells him, well, she's not going to be released. So he's like calling different facilities trying to figure out what's going on. Bottom line is she's not going to be released that day because of some disciplinary infractions on her part. And who knows when she's going to get released. And he gets upset that no one's giving him any information because he wants to know exactly what she did and when is she going to come out. Well, the prison doesn't have, they don't have to tell you a damn thing. You know, they don't have to tell you anything. You're lucky that they told you she wasn't coming out that day, because you really could have wasted your time going to the facility and waiting hours for her to come out just for someone to tell you 5 hours later, oh, she ain't coming out today. So you're lucky that someone told you something on the phone. Now turn around, go home and go make amends with Kayla and go apologize to that woman and leave her the hell alone. That's my review. Thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to rate the video, leave a comment if you want, and definitely subscribe. Bye-bye.